Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm happy this morning about two things. And I want to recognize the social activist, lawyer, Lolita Davis Richardson. She's in the gallery. I want to recognize and I want to acknowledge that she took the effort, she made the effort, she took the initiative to be in this house this morning to speak with the members, all of them separately, with a view to sharing her thoughts on what this initiative is. And I believe that she received the ear of everybody, the members she sought. So that's a wonderful thing. Our people can be encouraged today that they will be heard if they make the effort and they put forward the initiative. That is something to celebrate today. Second that I'm happy about is that the Honorable Chief Minister, in deference to the concerns expressed, we've collaborated, and I believe that the decision that's taken to move forward with the debate, but to grant sufficient time, as proposed by Mr. Jackson, is an excellent way of showing our people that our representation counts for something, and that our people are valued. I think that's the second thing to celebrate. The third thing, Mr. Speaker, is that I believe, I've looked at the law myself, and I believe that it's declaratory only. It's only, I remember when I first started practice in 1986, many, many moons ago, this was one of the areas that lawyers at the time, now we do it all pro bono, but it still costs not just for a grandchild to go to come to Anguilla to try and get work or to do something. It used to cost them to pay lawyers, but as well as the free fees. And I would have liked, Mr. Speaker, that we're not just approaching these things in a piecemeal way. They are too important. And absolutely, it would have been quite typical that in the public domain something is done, it's put out there, oh, it's okay, but how it's applied in principle is not in a fair way across the board. So if a person not able to afford a lawyer or not able to support lobbying to the government or whatever, this situation would result in our no longer grandchildren, all our been treated unfairly, stateless, children were declared stateless. But not only that, when their parents had, committed so much to our development because the Lama Commission wasn't going to meet, they themselves weren't going to be deprived they were going to be deprived of their rights. We have so many issues in Anguilla, I'm sorry to say, that goes to human dignity, where we fail to do what is right to get to that point, but fail doing things wrong. So I want to applaud the member for Sand Hill this morning, who says that, it's been there, she wants to get it right. It's not doing anything more than there, and certainly the policies have been applied across the board for some time. But Mr. Speaker, what we need here to put us tomorrow, to position us for tomorrow, and I want to thank the Chief Minister for stretching out to include not just Mr. Speaker, yourself, and others, but I hope that he will extend it as well to the Lolita Richardson, anybody in Anguilla who can really make a difference to several of those children who still don't have rights, but who went to school, who were born here, went to school here, went off to university, came back here, and still have to pay immigration fees. So I think this is a good thing, and it signals, and why I'm happy, that it signals what possibility is. But vision, Mr. Speaker, this is just a tiny little step. And believe it or not, the administrative mechanisms that are needed to make sure that in fact it will deliver the right outcome equally to everybody, we still have to pay the provider. Are you with me, Mr. Speaker? It's very important that the decisions that we take, that they're applied without discrimination and across the board, and that it will ease the stresses of those persons who feel that regularly they are discriminated at in that immigration department or elsewhere. And I want to tell you, Mr. Speaker, I understand, I put myself in the place of those immigration officials who have such a difficult time. And I understand them and empathize with the need the Honorable Member for Sandy Hill has to get it right and to get it on the board as quickly, on the ground as quickly as possible. Because if we have the law behind us, then it's not against personal favor and all of that. So that's why I'm supporting that we get it done quickly, provided we give our people an opportunity to say how they feel about it. The vision, Mr. Speaker, how you get more, how you maximize where you are at the time. And we had an incredible 1976 Constitution that all people engaged in a positive way. And then we had another piece of law that quelled our process. Our Constitution, it didn't, the subsequent version changed our position, the rights of our children in a significant way. And now we can't just capture by making little declaratory orders like declaratory provisions like we're doing today. What we have to do is we have to, like the people of Ireland in the last 10 years, they have to say, you know, anybody who is entitled or interested in building and in bringing their money home and doing everything, they will get passports, they will get it. We talk about needed population, we've got so many Anguillians in diaspora who dread coming home because they come in the immigration department and they're treated with such challenge, such disrespect, unspeakable. I have spoken with Anguillians living in St. Martin, and I know they're listening, and they say that we cannot do this the way that we're treated. I want this administration, I want us to show right now, Anguillians everywhere in the world, that they're going to be treated like the children of the ancestors that made it possible for us to live here and to eke out a life here, that we encourage and embrace. And today, this is a tiny, tiny step, but we must not stop here. We must come back, and I hope that the discussions that will be facilitated in the committee stage and the delay after that will allow for the particular provisions in relation to the lordship in our Constitution to get such a public hearing that our people will express that they don't just want it to be grandchildren. How is it so many moons ago that great-grandchildren in this position today? Can you imagine that, Mr. Speaker? Their great-grandchildren. How far does this go? We needed to go much further. And the economic ramifications, Mr. Speaker, when you have vision, when you can see into the future, I noticed our good Right Reverend Dr. Wisdom this morning notices that today, but also tomorrow, because a futuristic context is what delivers progress. If we're just always trying to catch up, policies there, nothing documented, nothing happens, discrimination, we're not making progress. But we have to have courage. We have to have vision. We have to step into the future like they do in other countries with so much power, embracing all our people. And it starts not with a little step, it starts with a brave positioning in the Constitution and how we decide Anguillians. Mr. Speaker, that is the opportunity that today yields, and I support this stamp. And I absolutely reach out to help carve with the other side, to help shape the Anguilla of tomorrow, and we can do it now. We are ready. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There's some old cliches. In fact, at Nike, it's got one that says, just do it. I think we're in Anguilla, probably as a race of people, always know what to do. But the fact is, you say it, but we just don't do it. And just add from what the Honorable Minister for Island Harbor said about a small step. But the longest journey, Mr. Speaker, starts with the first step. And maybe the second step today is the second reading. But I think it's important, and again, I'm really impressed with the member from Island Harbor, because she's given our Chief Minister a vote of confidence by pointing out that he does listen, not just to his colleagues, but to those in the gallery as well. Because he could have easily said, no, we'll do the 3 readings today. But again, it proves what a leader he is. Mr. Speaker, in Anguilla, when there are arguments, especially at the workplace, a number of born Anguillians love to say, I'm BH in your CH. BH means I born here. And that should mean a great deal. It should mean a great deal to anybody in Anguilla, because even today there are many songs about Mother Africa. Most people in the Caribbean consider themselves to be Africans, African descendants anyway. But if you ask most of them, where did your grandfather come from? Or great-grandfather? Couldn't tell you. So right here in Anguilla, you could be born here, but still not have simple rights. I think it's wrong, Mr. Speaker. I think being a born Anguillian, especially, there are not many of us. So there should be little diamonds. If you're born here, it doesn't matter where your parents come from. God has decided that you'll be a born Anguillian. So I don't know why it's taken this long, but again, as you say, it's better to do it now than never. And also, when we look back in history, and not so far, even my mother, who went to England 54 years ago, has got grandchildren and great-grandchildren. And even though they were born in England, probably haven't been to Anguilla, they will still consider Anguilla as home. But again, we've made it so difficult. We have made it difficult. We as Anguillians have made it difficult for those to call Anguilla home, truly feel as if they belong. And I think that is unfortunate, Mr. Speaker. Because when we consider how this came about, we're quite proud to say that Anguillans didn't want to go to Guyana way back, but they went to St. Thomas, St. Martin, to England, all around the world. They went to better places. And especially Santo Domingo. Especially Santo Domingo. So I think, Mr. Speaker, sometimes when we speak, in fact, whenever you speak, you should not just speak words, but put your hand on your heart and say, what does your heart really tell you? What is it telling you? For me, Mr. Speaker, it's telling me that we have to embrace all people, anybody, the ones who come here on a visit, but especially those that could say they've got a link, not even with the soil, because we call it the rock. So again, that rock is, we call it diamond or rock too, and I think that's how we should treat Anguilla. So I stand to support this bill, the second reading, and I definitely will support the third reading as well. But while I'm on my feet, Mr. Speaker, I just want to be able to say to all who are going to have a great time over the next week or so for a summer festival, please have a safe week. But also please keep our island clean. We talk about how proud we are of our island, and it's a shame, Mr. Speaker. Not sure if I get a chance to speak later, but I'll say it now. We need to take greater pride in our nation. You know, in the tourism industry, in fact, we've got our agents from Europe and the US, North and South America. They're here at the moment. And over the next 4 days, 5 days, we'll be having a number of meetings in order to take our industry forward, to give all Anguillans employment, to give those who come here employment as well. But we have to show some pride in our nation, Mr. Speaker. We have to do it. But again, not to get off the point, I support this motion, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I just right briefly to give my support to this Immigration and Passport Amendment Act and say that I think that it's very timely. We have injured and hurt a lot of people. We frustrated a lot of people. And a step in the right direction does not complete the journey. And so it is correctly said that we need to go even further. In all of my life, I think that one of the things that I pride the most in is always considering people, because everything that I've noticed has been accomplished in the world has been accomplished by people. And I get very annoyed when I find Anguillians want people to come in among us, serve us, help us build our country, but at the end of the day we want to alienate them and treat them as if they don't belong. I don't know, Mr. Speaker, a child born in Anguilla, we expect him to be from. That child, by God's design, is being processed and comes into the world. He's born in Anguilla. I don't know how he could be a Haitian or a Guyanese being born in Anguilla, but somebody with their intellect and their intelligence and their limited understanding of life has rated that. And so it is my prayer, as I've learned in the Anglican Church, wherever we injure people by thought, word, and deed, we must seek to correct that. And I hope that I be a part of a government that continues to go further and deeper in doing what is right and making sure that Anguilla becomes a place where people feel happy to be a part of the nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful for the endorsement and support. It appears all the members of the House in terms of this motion. And I do believe it is right to postpone the third reading until such time as persons have the ability to come back with whatever concerns that they have in relation to what they are seeking to do today. I will say, however, Mr. Speaker, that the intent of the passage of this amendment is a good one. And I'm also of the view that many persons may go are gratified and happy that we are moving towards this step. As has been indicated by a number of the speakers, this is just the beginning, and we have quite a way to go. One of the things I want us to always remember, however, is that we are also guided by the administrative power. And so laws such as the British Nationality Act, which we were not asking this House to consent to, but was imposed on us, or which we have to comply with, also impacts us, and it impacts who is determined to be a belonger in our country and mountain. So I want to go down and do it because that is something that we have to look at as well when we're talking about these type of issues. We are also making movements in terms of the Anguilla Constitution, and you will be happy to know this because in the last few weeks, our Constitutional Committee, headed by Mr. Don Richard QC, has completed a first draft of the Constitution, and they've already commenced various public meetings and discussions, etc. And I want to publicly commend Mr. Richard as well as the entire Constitutional Committee for working hard and getting us to this stage where we have a draft Constitution that we can bring to the people. people. Again, some of the issues in terms of belongers and grandchildren of belongers, etc., those are addressed looked at in this draft constitution as well. I would like to encourage as many people in Angola as possible to pick up a copy of the draft constitution. Read it. I know it may be a hefty piece of document, but it will become a law that applies to all of us. And so we need to have as much public involvement and response to it as possible. And that will be taking place over the next few weeks. I also want to highlight, Mr. Speaker, the certain things that have been going on in the Immigration Department. I've heard talk about the Immigration Department, and I would say that we would always, as a people, as government departments, etc., we ought to continue to strive for perfection. We may not always get it right, but we have to continue to seek to do better, to improve ourselves. And in fact, next week, my ministry, all of the departments, including immigration, legal, etc., will be on a course. We will have a session where we are actually, I think it's a 4-day session, or 2 days, where we will be actually talking about a number of things in that session in terms of how we can create living public value, etc., both for the people of Angola. And that is something I look forward to. And so there's always room for improvement, and we continue to strive to do better. I also want to point out, Mr. Speaker, that in relation to the immigration, there are 2 policies that have now been put in place for the summer festival that I just want to highlight. The first one is the standard, which is a relaxed period for national residents of St. Martin. There was a press release that was issued on the 11th of July 2016, and it spoke about the relaxation of immigration procedures for nationals of St. Martin beginning on Friday, the 22nd of July to Sunday, the 2nd of August. And what that means is that nationals or residents of St. Martin who do not have passports can enter under valid French or Dutch ID, and nationals of other countries, Caribbean islands, residing in St. Martin and requiring visas for Angola will be exempted from visa requirements for the same period. However, they must show proof of legal residency in St. Martin. So that is something, this policy, the relaxation period has been in place. It's been done for quite a number of years now. It's worked quite well. And you can see, for instance, on August Monday, and even on Sunday, the number of people that come over to St. Martin. So we are always ensuring that our people are able to reach out to our people across the sea. And the other policy is a visa waiver for Angola Summer Festival. Now, this is a pilot program that was started with the immigration for this year. And it's a visa waiver, and the reason why we started it as a pilot program is in recognition of our residents that may be not from Angola, but reside here in Angola working. And similar to us as Angolans who travel from over to work in other countries. And we recognize that many of our residents, whether they're from Santo Domingo or other countries, may want their family members to come and visit them in South Africa. Now, in order to put this into place as a pilot program, which is a program intended to address those needs, but in a way in which it can be maintained. What we start to do is, it's going to be for the period of the 19th of July to the 19th of August. It's 50 months, and in fact, we already exceeded those months. Meaning those people that are here in Angola that are stated that they want certain people to come and visit them and give us some friends for the summer holidays. And so we far exceeded that the 50 number. And and then there are other ideas that have been put in place as well. So the intent of this is to balance the interest between recognizing that our residents would like to have their family and friends visit versus doing it in a sustainable and beneficial manner. We do that in recognition as well, for realizing the difficulties that took place in the past, and we're trying to avoid the missteps that previous administrations have had in relation to visa waivers of persons from other countries. And so, Mr. Speaker, I say all of this in relation to the immigration and the immigration officers, that we have, the department has attempted to try to work in some way, especially during the conflict season, with person But at the end of the day, they are also guided by the rules and regulations, which we have to acknowledge and accept, but may not have been imposed by them, but they have to nonetheless comply. So, Mr. Speaker, in relation to the Immigration and Passport Amendment Act, I've stated the objects and reasons, and I would like Mr. Speaker to commend this motion. This bill.
Thank you. There's a move and seconded and the bill shall be amended, the Immigration and Passport Amendment Act 2016. Now then, second time. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it. Call upon the clerk to read the bill a second time.
Immigration and Passport Amendment Bill 2016, second reading. A bill to waive immigration fees in respect of certain persons and of matters connected therewith.
We read the second time. Because in fact, going through committee state, because we have a chance to review it, and maybe should I go to committee stage now? Okay, I should go. Say something?
You have to complete the second reading. You have to complete
You
the
thought
second
the
reading.
second reading was completed. It was completed.
That's completed.
And it was completed earlier.
It was completed.
Yeah, it was completed. The next stage is committee stage for the reviewing. Members are completely a chance to review it. We should wait until we review before we get to
You can't leave the house without this, the save them.
No, the committee stage is different from second reading. Second reading is completed.
It's completed.
Yeah. Committee stage comes after second reading. That is something known as what you want to do.
All right. We have anybody here, Mr. Speaker.
But if you give it, other members a chance to review it, that is the rule they recommend, they have the right to review it. Okay. Okay. What is the other bill?
Control of Employment Amendment Bill 2016, second reading.
Mr. Speaker, I move that a bill shortly entitled the Control of Employment Amendment Act 2016 be read a second time. If I can explain the objects and reasons, Mr. Speaker, this is the operative reason of this bill is to exempt non-belongers and children of belongers born in Nigeria from the rules that have work permits. And if I could just briefly explain, I mentioned earlier in relation to the Immigration and Passport Amendment Act, the fact that non-belonger children or first grandchildren of belongers born in Nigeria have to pay for immigration and but they also have to apply for permits. And so we found over the time that it has been an unfair burden on those persons who, for instance, they have direct immediate family here in Nigeria, they have land, they have rights, but because of our existing laws, they're not recognized as being belongers, even though they're belongers in every other sense of the word, in terms of family connections, the real connections to Angola, etc. And so, along with the Immigration and Passport Amendment Act, where we waive the immigration fees to non-belonging children of grandchildren of belongers, we are also amending the Control and Employment Amendment Act 2016 so that non-belonging grandchildren of the connections to Angola, the 505 grandchildren, would no longer require work permits. What instead they would have would be a work permit waiver. And so, Mr. Speaker, in terms of the actual wording of the Controller of the Climate Amendment Act, there's some, compared to the original agreement, the intent is exactly the same, the wording is the same, but how it's laid out is different because subsection 2, which we're proposing to include, specifically, well, let me go back to subsection 1, it says that no person shall be employed in Angola for a salary, wage, or other consideration for engaging in any occupation that will talk to the world, unless he is exempted under section 3 or he holds a valid work permit and is employed for engagement according to these terms. Subsection 2 says that subsection 1, the section of just rate, does not apply to a person belonging to Angola, the non-belonging grandchildren of belongers born in Angola, or the husband or widow of a person belonging to Angola. So this subsection 2 now inserts as section 3 the non-belonging grandchildren of belongers born in Angola. So that this would indicate this will speak to the policy which we try to arrive at for quite some time, that the grandchildren of belongers would not have to pay for
I rise to second it.
Mr. Speaker, for some of the very same reasons that I presented earlier, I stand in support of this bill this morning. While, Mr. Speaker, this may look as a small incremental step, as the Honorable Member for West End indicated, a journey of 100 miles begins with the first step. And of course, I agree and support the fact that there is need for a more comprehensive look at these kind of issues. I've had persons representing to me, Mr. Speaker, grandchildren, that their grandchildren cannot access their property because of the constitutional limitations. And I do not think that this is right and fair. And I believe that it is only correct that we find some way of dealing with these issues, and it is from that perspective, Mr. Speaker, that I stand to support this amendment this morning as my full support. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think sometimes we say the same thing over and over again, and there's not much more I need to add to what I said earlier regarding the immigration. But when you think of employment, most of these grandchildren that were obviously born overseas are coming back to Angola because their grandfather or grandparents went to a foreign land to work. So I think it's a case of Angola saying welcome home. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it's very important, according to my belief system anyway, that we call out behavior. If something is good and positive, you recognize it as good and positive. If something is evil, you call it out as evil. And the hope, Mr. Speaker, that in so doing, we can influence behaviors to make sure Mr. Speaker, that there is opportunity to rehabilitate. That is my belief system, Mr. Speaker. And so we celebrate whenever there's an opportunity for the right thing, because by pointing out what's right and what's wrong to our people, we will more quickly and readily identify with the right behaviors and save time and energy addressing behaviors that are not fully understood or fully comprehended. So I will, when the Chief Minister does something right, I'll be the first to say, and you be sure, Mr. Speaker, that I will always speak to the fire when he doesn't do the right thing by our people. And that said, I want to say that I started out by saying how much I was celebrating today. And I'm not going to add much more to what I've said before, except to say that in modeling the value of inclusion, which I talk about in this House regularly, Mr. Speaker, the value of inclusion. As a people, one of the strengths we have is our forebears had. They went to Curacao, they went to even some as far as Cuba. I wonder if you knew that, Mr. Speaker. We talk about San Domingo all the time, but some of our forebears were in Cuba and influenced the Cuban Revolution. We need to know our history. Mr. Speaker, inclusion. We must not, as the member for Western said, hang our hats now just on the mantra, you're not from here. We need to be shown the incredible opportunity there is, included to form part of what is going to be an economic transformation in Anguilla when we include others. We include our great-grandchildren, we include persons who have a connection with Anguilla where they spend all their lives earning. It's why, Mr. Speaker, I am so distressed that friends and persons of Anguilla who invested all their earnings in Anguilla because they're so attached to this rock and so attached to Anguillians who have made differences in their lives, that they are treated differently. Their deposits are not secure while others are secure. That's bad, Mr. Speaker. That shows exclusion. And I want to say to all our Caribbean people in Anguilla, we've been here upwards of 15 years, especially to the person who came to me recently to say that she's been here for upwards of 15 years. She's been married to an Anguillian for the time that qualifies, but she is so against the practice of people marrying just to have some kind of security in Anguilla. She will not make an application to be treated differently on that ground. Can you imagine? This is happening in Anguilla because many of our people say one thing and they do another. And we need to reach out and treat everybody fairly. No more moratorium. What we need to be doing in relation to some of these fees is if our true intent is to include, then we have to look at what the OECS has recommended, an amnesty, so that people don't have to, and they can move forward with dignity. Where they're going to get the money to catch up anyway? That is the kind of action that's needed. How can we show them in a very clear way that they are valued? And we do that by making sure the administrative mechanisms support that. I I applaud again the member interested in making sure that we're addressing the how of getting it right. And the how means investing in the training, not just talking rhetoric, but actually doing something. And that is what we want to see more of. But not on a discriminatory basis, everybody. So make it so that that wife whose dignity is compromised because anybody because she doesn't want any of her friends or colleagues to think that she married to get rights when she's been here so long and a title of her own, right? She shouldn't be excluded because it's not comfortable, the administration. We need to do a blanket statement. We need to include everybody. And you know what we're going to get by that? We're going to be able to partly realize the Honorable Chief Minister's vision for getting population in a right way. We've got to respect and treat everybody, extend love, make this a happy and will distill all that hostility and undermining tensions that operate and show unity in this way. Mr. Speaker, that will achieve magic. And it will achieve economic transformation. Because you know what you'll see, Mr. Speaker, from that? You will see investment coming from our people in the region, knowing that they truly have a place in Angola. And so I encourage and support this initiative, but only if it gives fruit to that great application of an amnesty and forward movement. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm not sure that the other realizes how much our views these issues are like tonight. And the colleagues in this honorable house, and in past administrations, several administrations as well, we also know that one of my important principles has to do, first of all, that we are part of the Caribbean region. And it is not possible for me, as I will be, as part of the Caribbean region, to continue consider anybody from any part of the region as far or should be restricted in it. All of the law focus
Amen.
belongs to all of us. Fortunately, Mr. Speaker, from time to time we have to put measures in place to ensure that we manage while we aspire to that ideal, we have got to prepare ourselves for that ideal. And if we begin to develop it, and we strengthen our position in the cabinet, and even the sub-region, we can then go further. But Mr. Speaker, I think that there is so much that we can talk about. But this is a simple one. This is the first step in the process of dealing with the wider issues of immigration, the wider issues of a lot of naturalization. A lot of them are not within our realm of authority because we are part of the British nationality pact, which governs a lot of the things that constrain us. A lot of things constraints in the British National Act constraints to put certain policies in place. But we work into it. And I thank the member for Sandy Hill, as well as the member for Rule. No. We're working so diligently with the staff, the immigration and department of the labor to move these things forward. The number of our Honda spoke with amnesty. The only issue with amnesty at this point is the fact that a number of people will not be. I do my own. Yeah. So, yeah, that was immigration. Yeah, right on the hotel. On the immigration, a number of persons will not be before. And as a consequence, to have an amnesty on those things could let it go. And everything we have got to make sacrifices. And the change comes. We cannot go back to the beginning of time. We have to begin at a point that's reasonable, that is manageable and sustainable. So I thank the member for standing up for bringing these new motions to the House. These two bills to the House, and I hope that we can move forward with them. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I had the opportunity to quickly put the section of the draft Angola constitutional and electoral reform proposals for public. And there is a footnote that the wording stated in section 89 of the draft constitution prepared by the recognized committee as a substitute to the present section 80 of the 1982 constitution. And what it says is for section 2, for the purposes of this constitution, a person is an Angolan if that person is a person born or adopted in or outside Angola with a parent or grandparent who was born or adopted in Angola and who is regarded as being an Angolan by virtue of this or any previous constitution. And so I say that to say, Mr. Speaker, that the Control of Employment Act, the amendment that's been made, that we brought today in relation to the Control of Employment Act is intended to address the issue of grandchildren having to pay for workplace. And this is a stopgap, as has been identified already. It's a temporary measure that we're putting in place in order to address some of the grievances and some of the wrongs that we feel have been taking place all along. But the draft constitution actually proposes to re-include grandchildren in office, so that once if this draft constitution is passed to serve with the section that I just referred to, is approved by the people of Angola and comes into law, then all of the other, the Control of the Employment Act, the Immigration Act, all of the other Alien and Women Rights Acts, which currently actually would impact grandchildren, would no longer affect grandchildren, and grandchildren would be seen in the same light as their grandparents, as any other person that is born in Angola and is really longer. And so, like I said, we are trying to make things forward. It is time, Mr. Speaker, that while it is that many persons have spoken over the years and talked about the ills that people have had to bear, we are actually taking steps forward to try to be able to bring something concrete and something significant to people of Angola in order to ease these burdens. And so, Mr. Speaker, I thank the entire House again for their full support for this bill, and thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. As we move and second, this is a short meeting. Amendment Act 16. You know that the second time. Aye. Who's against? Guys have to take all that.
Control of Employment Amendment Bill 2016, second reading. A bill to exempt non-belonging children of the Ramos born in Angola from the need to have permits and for matters connected therewith.
We vote on this bill to immigration and passport Act 2016. You know, look forward to a committee of the whole assembly. So when we come back to this bill, it's on this stage, we will do that. Do the okay? All right.
Adjournment.
Mr. Speaker, please, with your leave, I just wanted to recognize that August is in front of us, Emancipation Day, but also Carnival. I want to be able to wish everyone in Anguilla, all our people, all our visitors coming in, a very happy Carnival, a safe Carnival, and to our parents and our children, looking forward to starting school in September, and we're going to, our first session will be after their back to school. I just want to wish God's blessing and for a safe time, but also a time where we can focus on really hopeful things. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I just want to also join with my colleagues in wishing everyone a safe and happy Carnival. But while I'm also here at my feet, I know that boat racing might not be the same for some of the boat racing enthusiasts because of the sudden passing of Lionel Perkins, who was actually better known as Stretch, actually, a big boat racing enthusiast. And I would also like to pay tribute to him and to extend to his family my sincere condolence, and pray that God will give them the strength to really cope with this loss at this time. That's all I will say at this time.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to add my condolences. I view that family as a part of my family as well. And I want to, especially at this time, I know it's very, very hard. I've already shared that, but that is my wish to extend this forum, seeing there's an opportunity to do it. My sincere condolences and the condolences of my family as well. Thank you.
Yes, Member for East End.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I as well would like to join in the same and I have to say, Mr. Speaker, I met him sometime in March, February or March of last year. And I left with such a joyful impression of him because he was funny. He gave a joke and I had to share it with the entire community because it was a long and it went far wider. That was my first interaction with him there since that time. It has been a good interaction, good feeling to speak with him. So I know he'll be getting us by his family and friends. I also, Mr. Speaker, would like to wish everyone a safe and happy and enjoyable Carnival. Tomorrow night, the 28th, marks the beginning of Carnival season. We encourage everyone to come out to the village and join with you. We have a 2016 festival. I ask that as we continue to be safe, that we continue to be kind and gentle to each other, especially on the holiday season. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Yes, I too, Mr. Speaker, rise to wish everyone a happy and safe Carnival season. And I would especially like to appeal to all of those persons who find themselves having conflicts to deal with them appropriately. We are already, Mr. Speaker, losing people in Anguilla for a variety of reasons. And I want to beg the young men, the young people of Anguilla, all the people of Anguilla, all ages and sizes, to put down the weapons and be sensible and sober. We do not need it. I myself, Mr. Speaker, I'm at a point right now where I am not tolerating any sort of loss or injury. I'm stretched to the limit. Mr. Lionel Perkins Stretch is partially family. I come to him as a family member. He's been a dear friend of mine, and I'm very much torn in my heart over that loss. And he was a very jovial person, and it is the first time I understood that from him, that two smart died by one smart dog. It was a saying that he loved very much to say. When you think that you had it all figured out, he would always say to you, two smart died by one smart dog. And we had a very good time of laughter, and he's gone out. And it is very sad. I want to let everybody know that they are welcome to come to Anguilla. I want to also ask our immigration officers who have been doing a tremendous job to to be vigilant and sober and wise. People come to Anguilla to have a good time. They live somewhere, and obviously they're going to go back home. There are a few persons who will come here and try to hide, and we all know that in Anguilla, Mr. Speaker, there's no place to hide. After 4 days in Anguilla, everybody knows that you're here. We will find you, and if you have to leave, we will ask you to leave. So we need not to panic in Anguilla with the idea of people coming here to enjoy themselves. I've seen a lot of evidence that there is a lot of fun and laughter to be had for everybody this carnival season. And I'm going to ask everybody to go out, including the Chief Minister, and have a ball of a time. Thank you all very much.
Again, I'll stand, Mr. Speaker. Yes, with stretch. I mean, boat racing I'm very passionate about as the honorable member for Road South. But it's a greater loss than boat racing because of the person that he was. And it was unfortunate last week or last Sunday that the race that was canceled was actually in honor of his father. But again, I suppose we approach it different ways, and out of a mark of respect, the race was canceled. But I know for sure, Mr. Speaker, that over the coming week or coming weeks, his name will be the most mentioned name because of the character that he was. For a start, he came from North Hill, lived in North Hill, surrounded by family in North Hill, but yet he was a crew member on the tree. So it tells you what a character he was, and he gave as much as he got. And quite often we cry about our losses, but what it tells you, Mr. Speaker, we need to cherish what we have, and we don't know how long we have it for. And as the member for Road South mentioned, safety is a big thing over the coming weeks, and not just for the coming weeks, for as long as possible, because one incident could actually spoil what could be fun for all of us. So I'm encouraging all who are going to take part to be careful. And it could be an accident or it could be willful, but please be careful. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, the rules to give everybody an opportunity to reach the resident. We're happy to take carnival, but was well by the leader of the opposition. So, that's part. I'm grateful to members of the Honorable House for the because it's important that we remember to the development of also to the sanitary, where people who work out this, we will sometimes stretch on the course, talking about something that was involved in the morning. Not that I'm not a morning person, but he was always that kind of guy. Mr. Speaker, we have an opportunity to talk to the community again about the importance of being safe during Carnival. We're making some comments at the opening of Carnival tomorrow night. And of course, there are a number of people in the community who have those issues as well. Member for extension mentioned the importance of keeping Anguilla clean. Just this morning before 7 o'clock, somebody called me and expressing their concern about the fact that we are not paying sufficient attention to keeping Anguilla clean and what can be done. Yesterday evening, we had a meeting with opening our transformational change part 2, a meeting of all the agents for tourism abroad. And one of the things that they raised the fact that we do not put enough effort keeping Anguilla clean because they have visited a number of destinations and they're concerned about that. I take this opportunity to do that I think to do with Carnival. That's to do with the way our visitors see us. They see us as a country that does not have pride in itself. It means that the people are not creating an environment which is welcoming for visitors who come in. So I also then take this opportunity to wish everybody a happy and safe Carnival and make sure that everybody is able to enjoy themselves because it is a human life themselves. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and I move that this whole stand adjourned. Second. Good.